so it just becomes like a shit cat tornado. There's shit flying like I swear to God, it probably got on the ceiling. Hi, my name's Grayson. Welcome to the Roll for Funny podcast. I am Ryan's wife, despite what everyone thinks.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ryan, and I have cats despite what everyone thinks.
Hi, my name is Alicia, and I'm not a dog person.
Hi, my name is Eric. I brought 2 dogs into our relationship.
That's true.
2 dumb dogs.
Yeah. So, what's been going on in life, you guys?
Well, first we should roll for funny.
Oh, no.
That's going on first.
Oh.
That's what's going on
prepping.
in life.
10.
14.
7.
11.
Ooh, second week in a row that I rolled highest.
It's bitter.
More-
Cats. It's more just Grayson.
More
cats.
Grey Tato cast.
Yep.
Gray Tato, yum.
Like Red Robin.
Yeah.
Dude, that washing machine in there is going ham.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Our clothes are very clean.
Can you hear it on the... Is it showing up
No.
on there? Okay.
Well, if they can, get over it, because we're all cleaning and moving and doing stuff in life.
Yeah.
Makes me think of those meme videos of people with like the washers that clank and they like play
Get
guitar
down,
over it.
fiddling, down, shoes and throw 'em in the mud. Dance in the kitchen till the morning light. Louisiana Saturday night.
I just keep seeing the videos of the people who like tape their camera or their phone to the inside of their dryer and then just like put their hand inside the dryer.
It's like that. I will always love you.
We want to attach GoPros to our cats.
We should make one of those videos for the Roll for Funny podcast, just as a little like TikTok.
Just a little
Each of
GoPro
us sticking
video.
our head in there with the thing going around us with like pretty music.
Speaking of today's episode's Petcast.
Speaking of putting things in the dryer.
Eric!
Roll for funny.
Oh, can I start us off with a story that actually has to do with that?
Wait, do I actually have to
No.
roll?
Yes.
Wait, why can't I?
Yeah, not funny.
3.
I rolled highest. I should get 2.
Yes. Grayson,
Yeah.
tell your story.
So, okay.
I'm mildly worried, but...
It's not that bad. So everybody that knows me knows that when, like, we're not cat people, but we have 2 cats. We moved into our apartment, and one cat was just like, hey, I live here now. Like, we were having our housewarming party at the apartment, and she just kind of was like, what's up? And, like, came in and made herself at home.
Mm-hmm.
Like, ate food, peed in the litter box, just... like, here I am. I'm part of the household now. So we went out the next day and, like, got cat stuff. And we're like, we have a cat. Anyway, she was a baby. So the very first day that I had to, like, go to work and she was home alone, I got back, said hi to her, turned around, she was gone. And I was freaking out. And all I had done since I had gotten home was put my work clothes in the wash and move the washer clothes to the dryer. And for like 45 minutes, I'm looking around the house for her. I mean, tearing the house apart, like wigging out. Can't find her anywhere. And it suddenly hits me like the only place she can be is in the dryer. And I'm like crying already because I know she's in there. And I go open the dryer. Of course, she's not in there. Obviously, she's alive and well today. But I couldn't find her for like hours. Ryan finally comes home. He like left work early because I'm panicking. Comes home to help me find her. And I'm like, maybe I can look on our Ring camera and see if like we've seen her walking around the apartment or where maybe she went. And like in like 3 of the clips where I'm looking around the house, she's following me around.
Right behind her.
Right
step for
behind me
step.
and hiding, like playing hide and seek basically. And it turned out that she had gone up behind Ryan's desk and hid inside the drawer, like climbed in it from behind.
Oh.
And that's why I couldn't find her. But pretty funny.
I actually have a very similar story to that. When I first got Harley, and she was a kitten, she was like 4 months old, so she's about half the size that she is now as a full-grown cat. And like it was like a couple days after we got her.
Yeah, it was like really early.
It was really early, and like we'd like gone somewhere and came back, and I couldn't find her. And I was like, I don't know if she like ran out the door or like if something happened that like tore the house apart, could not find her, was like crying and freaking out. I was like, I just got this cat. I'm obsessed with her already and I cannot find her.
Aww.
And I don't know who it was that started opening dresser drawers. But she was in one of the dresser drawers.
Wow.
And just sleeping like, hey, Mom, what's up? And from that day on, I put a bell on her.
Yeah.
Because I was horrified that, like, something had happened.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like, you get so attached so fast, like, day one, and then
Speaking
they
of
pull
your
some
cats,
shit.
the Void was in the bathroom when I went in there a minute ago. And, like, I opened the door, and she was like, oh, hey. I was like, oh, hey. And then, like, she, like, kind of turned around and, like, went behind the toilet. I was like, well, I guess you're in this for, like, the whole session.
That sounds like Ivy.
Yeah.
And I closed the door, and I swear to God, she looked at me like, please, God, no. I was like, last chance, open the door, and she bolted.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny, too, is when I go pee, she always follows me in there, but she likes to, like, try to get pet while I'm peeing. So she'll, like, walk back and forth, but she, like, rubs her tail in between my thighs. I'm like, Heckle, stop.
Yeah, stop. You're getting
It's
too
weird.
close.
I'm going to pee on you.
That's my literal morning routine every single day is I get up, walk to the bathroom, and as soon as the cats hear my feet hitting the ground, they both bolt into the bathroom and just meow, 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 rub up against my legs while I'm trying to pee.
I would love if somebody would do a scientific study on why cats feel the need to follow you into the bathroom.
Well, they don't do it all the time. It's just in the morning, so I guess they're just like greeting me for the day. But
Ivy loves our bathroom.
If I open
Yeah.
the bathroom door, that bitch will sprint across the house.
well, I take that back. Cerise comes into the bathroom
Cerise
if
always
she
follows
notices
you.
me. Yeah, she'll follow me in there, but she follows me everywhere. So,
I
like if
have
I'm gaming, she's sitting next to me on the bed. If I'm on the couch,
I
she's
got-
on the couch next to me.
I have the same problem where I'll get up and get ready, and I'll close the door behind me when I'm, taking care of business in the bathroom. And Freya, like, sticks her hand under the door, and she's like, dude, come on. You didn't even feed me first.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
dare
they're
you?
demanding of food in the morning. Cats are insane about their food.
A little bit. Ours are pretty good because, like, we'll give them wet food and dry food, but we'll put, like, a little scoop of wet food on top of their dry food at night. So they'll eat the wet food and some dry food, and then the rest of the dry food lasts them through the next day. Mm-hmm. But, like, there have been a couple of occurrences where we may have forgotten to feed them.
Yeah.
And the next morning I get up and they're like, meow, 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 from the top of the cat tree. I'm like, oh, yeah, Dad forgot to feed you. Okay.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's so funny, too, because for a while they would try to trick us. Like, Ryan would get up and feed them, and they'd get up and demand food. Like, they'd cry and walk to their bowls and pace back and forth until he fed them. And for a while, because we were waking up at, like, really separate times, they would do the same thing to me when I got up. And so I would assume he didn't feed them, and I'd feed them again. And the little fat asses would eat all of it. And then I'd call Ryan and be like, will you please feed the cats in the morning? Like, they're, like, throwing a fit. And he's like, I did. And then it's, like, weird because ever since we quit doing it, or I would be like, I know he fed you. They, like, stopped. And they don't do it anymore.
I like the jig is up.
Yeah, they got
Busted.
caught.
That's why they got the size they are right now.
Well, Freya's, like, a normal size. Cerise is a little bit overweight.
Cerise is a chungus.
Yeah, she's
She's a little. She got a little belly on her. She chunky.
yeah. I don't think she's like in any health danger fat
Yeah.
or anything, but she like could go on a little kitty diet,
Yeah, and then there's Ivy, who
She
looks
needs-
like fat bastard.
like a circle.
We always make fun of her because anytime she sits in like one of the cat beds or like on in a chair and you're like, Ickle, you're spilling.
Oh yeah,
Your belly's hanging off.
she is a puddle, a gumdrop, the void, an oil spill, an oil slick.
Yeah, she's just a pure black cat that's so big she's a circle.
And her
But
head
she's
is so tiny.
small.
I know,
She
she's
was
a tiny
meant-
cat.
She is a tiny skeleton.
yeah.
And she's chunky, and I don't know how because we don't overfeed them.
No, y'all really don't. Like, we feed our cats more than y'all feed yours.
Yeah.
And I think my cat's issue is that, like, if we leave any human food out, not Freya. Freya does not like human food. She's a cat food. Like, if you give her, like, a little piece of fish or something, she might eat it. But she is purely a cat. She wants cat food and nothing more. Cerise is, like, if she hears the whipped cream can, she comes running into the kitchen like a dog. Like, she will eat anything you give her. And I give her scraps every now and then, like stuff that's, especially meat. Like,
Yeah.
that's not overly seasoned or like the inside of it or whatever. But yeah, like if I leave out like chicken wing bones, like obviously, you know, you gotta be careful with those because they can splinter. But like if I like sit them on the counter while we're watching TV or something, like I will hear them fall on the ground where she jumps up on the counter and knocks them down and tries to get to them.
Harley has stolen an entire third of a pork loin before.
Pork loin is
dude.
insane for cats. It's like worse than catnip.
And she also has an obsession with ranch.
She loves ranch. Harley loves ranch. She's stolen several chicken breasts out of the sink that were thawing
And gave them to the dogs.
and gave them
Or
to the
shared it
dogs.
with the dogs.
well.
Yeah.
Weird.
Fucker.
Not by choice. Let's be real.
They're just bigger than her.
And when she was younger, she used to steal tortillas and bread. Like if we left
I've heard that about
any
bread.
or tortillas on the counter, the whole pack would be on the floor with like a bunch of bites taken out of it.
Our cats have never gone after the bread, shockingly. I don't know, because I see a lot of people's cats do that. Apparently it's common.
She also likes to lick the grease out of the cast iron if we leave it.
Yeah, you got to stop doing that because that's going to cause health
I know.
problems.
Because like you'll get up in the morning, it'll be all solidified or whatever, and there's just like one tiny little paw print.
Oh, there's a
And
lot
some
more
lick,
than
some
that.
lick marks.
I come home and there's like a hole dug in the oil from her licking through it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, fucking shit, Harley.
I know my cats like to lick coconut oil. Like if I have coconut oil on my finger, I'll give them a little bit.
Yeah.
Because like we try to give them random stuff all the time. Like anytime I have something, I'll offer it to them, and usually they'll just sniff
Yeah,
it.
usually they're like, fuck you, peasant.
That's Freya. She just smells it and walks off. She
Yeah.
wants to smell it though.
If we leave for a long time, like more than 2 days, like the honeymoon, we'll come back and there will be like cat treat bags on the ground with like teeth marks ripped out of it.
Yeah.
There was a Pop-Tart bag
Yeah.
one day when we went over. That was on the ground. It
No,
hadn't
that
been
was just
opened.
recent.
Was there?
Yeah. No, it was that we're gone.
Pop-Tarts there.
It was there
I
was
don't remember
100% of Pop-Tart on the ground.
I mean,
We've had it like once or
I
twice.
remember the
Pop-Tarts.
Fruit Loops. I don't remember any Pop-Tarts.
That might have been
No,
one of
in
my
the kitchen.
bridesmaids because I do remember we had a box of Pop-Tarts I got because I knew we were having people stay over and they all were pretty drunk throughout. So there's a good chance that was a bridesmaid.
Yeah, there was definitely a single Pop-Tart. It didn't look like it had been opened.
Yeah.
Or like bit through it all, but it was on the ground.
I'm not surprised. Speaking of cats, so we're moving. I know, like, I think we mentioned it on the last podcast, but we're moving, and where we're moving, there's a basement cat, and his name is Tom.
Got to meet him. He's really sweet.
And he is a sweetheart. We learned something about Tom last night when we went over to eat dinner. And so, okay, last time I was over there alone, I was cleaning, and I heard the door open. And I thought maybe I just didn't latch it all the way or like the house is haunted. And I was like freaked out because I didn't see Tom or anything. But the door, like you've been in there. So, you know, like there's our part of the apartment and then there's like the rest of the basement.
Yeah.
That door opened. And so I thought like maybe Ryan's mom came down to check on us or something, but she wasn't around.
Yeah.
And it's not like she's jogging up the stairs or something, you know, like I would hear it. And I was just like, that's weird. Shut the door and moved on with my life. Well, then we heard like a do-do-do, and then the door opened and we were like, what the heck? And we walk in there and Tom's standing in the doorway. And I realized he's a rescue cat. They've only had him a couple months. He can turn doorknobs.
What?
Yeah, he can jump up and turn doorknobs.
What?
Yeah,
the
so
shit?
it's really cool. But now, like, we're definitely gonna have to put a chain or something on the door because, or like a deadbolt lock, like
Just one of those toddler covers on the door handle.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
possibly, yeah. But because he can just open the door.
Yeah, and with two other cats in there that he doesn't know yet.
Yeah, and I don't have like I'm almost 100% sure they're all gonna get along.
Yeah.
And love each other, and that's fine. My issue is that there's stairs that lead up to the main house where they have a very large American bulldog.
Yeah.
And she's a sweetheart and she would not hurt the cats, but she
Sasha
will
Bell.
chase the cats.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Cats get in weird situations when they're chased.
yeah, and I have a feeling that like between all three of the cats running from a bulldog up in the main house, like they are gonna break through a window or something. And I'm like,
They're
I'm not gonna be responsible for that because my
Yeah.
cats will explore. They are explorers. So we've got to keep that door shut somehow. But it was just so funny because I've never seen a cat open a door.
Yeah.
And he's from like some shelter, like who knows where he came from. So I think someone obviously loved him because he loves people.
Yeah, he's
But,
very sweet.
Yeah, he can open doors.
That's
So-
pretty cool.
Yeah.
I know Eric made the joke that he brought the dogs into our relationship. So did both of the cats come with Ryan, or did you guys adopt them together?
Both together. So Freya, like, we moved in together.
They're both angels that were just delivered to us.
Ew.
Ew.
Both spawns of Satan that came from hell.
Yes, and just
Yeah.
decided to camp out in our apartment.
I mean, that's all
No,
cats.
Freya was like in the ditch at our apartment, like, and we were having a housewarming party, and I was going out to my friend Lauren's car to help her bring in like some beer and stuff she'd brought in her
Yeah.
suitcase, and this cat literally ran up my pant leg and was like, "I'm coming in with you," and it was rainy and cold, and I was like, "All right, you're coming in with me," and I brought her in, and like we like cracked the door so she could leave if she wanted, and she was just like, "Nah, I'm here."
I'm here now.
Yeah, I live here. And then Cerise was my friend Christina. Shout out Christina. She has dogs and couldn't take her in, but she was out driving. This is the story I got anyway. Like or how I remember her telling me anyway. There could be details I'm leaving out, but she said she was out driving and she saw someone like toss this little kitten out of their moving car window, and she pulled over and took it and was like, like, no. And she was like, I don't know what to do with this kitten. And she was like posting it on Snapchat and everything. And at the time, Freya was like super lonely and just like staring outside at the outside cats playing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, we could see how it works here. And she was like, okay, cool. And brought her over. And from the pictures, I didn't think she was going to be like a baby, but she was like a baby, a little kitty. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God. And she was all dirty and
Yeah.
had fleas. And so we gave her a bath, and she has become like my shadow now. Like, she is
Yeah.
never not in the room with me wherever I'm at. So I love that cat.
Why you so obsessed with me? So, Ryan, are you a cat person or a dog person?
I am actually not a pet person at all.
Really?
Yeah, I just kind of fell in love with. I guess like the older I get, the more I like pets. But like, yeah, I just kind of fell in love with our two cats.
Did you grow up with pets?
Yes and no. Like, so when I was a kid, that actually kind of leads me into what I was like looking up photos for. When I was a kid, we had two Dalmatians when I was really young. I barely remember them. Oreo and Buttons. They came, like, my parents bought the house they have now, and the owners that just left the Dalmatians.
Damn.
I was a little kid when we had those, so I barely remember them. And then we had two Dachshunds, Peaches and Dixie. And Peaches lived a very long time. She actually just recently, like, within like the past 5, 6, 7 years passed away.
Wow.
She lived like almost 20 years.
Wow.
And then a slew of cats. You remember Kit Kat? Mm-hmm. Did you ever meet Repeat?
No.
So
Kit Kat was the only one left when we dated originally.
So they were brothers. They were Pete and Repeat. And they were the two happiest cats. It's a really sad story, actually. Pete, something happened to Pete one day. He just went missing. We like assumed he got on the back of a UPS truck when they delivered a package and drove off. And then Repeat was not the same since.
Aww.
Like, he would go out, like, when it was raining, he would just stand in the driveway and whine. I swear, it was the saddest thing ever.
Aw,
That's
that's
so sad.
depressing.
I wish I had photos of all these pets.
I have a photo of Kit Kat.
And then we had Phoebe at the same time as Pete and Repeat. She was just a furball, super, super fun, but, like, batshit insane. We're pretty sure that Kit Kat, she was the dominant cat. We're pretty sure Kit Kat beat the shit out of Phoebe and made her stupid. Because she would like, she was a perfectly fine, cute cat that would like, she would cuddle with you right here on your neck. And then like one day we woke up and she was like peeing and pooping on the countertops and like,
Oh, wow.
just being weird. So we had to put her
wow.
outside. And then the last cat I remember growing up was Tiny, and there's still a sore spot for Tiny.
Aww.
It was my dad's cat. He was a dog, but he was a cat. He would sleep at the foot of the bed with you. He would like lay out and stretch on you like right here while you petted him. He would drool on you, and yeah.
Wow.
And then the last couple, I was actually getting pictures ready when y'all were talking about it. So I don't think y'all haven't met Sasha, have you?
Nope.
I did.
The bulldog.
Yeah, sausage ball.
She's so cute.
I call her Sausage Ball. She's a little sausage ball.
I love Sasha.
So she's not really a new addition to the family anymore, but she's still new in the grand scheme of things. This photo is from, is it really 2016? Wow.
Is it Sadie?
Sasha.
Oh.
But I had to share this photo with you guys because this is when Sasha was a puppy.
Oh,
Baby sausage ball.
She's a chunker now. She's so sweet.
She's
I'll
big.
have to send you that picture so it can go up on the video.
Yeah.
That's her now.
She's like a horse.
And then I had found an even better one for just really quick reference.
Aww.
She was laying.
Oh yeah, her
Baby.
Ryan's parents bought her a crib mattress and pillow and blanket. So she has like an actual like human looking bed
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
living room, and it's the cutest thing ever. She lays in it like
It's
a
actually
person.
Yeah.
it's really smart because it's way cheaper than dog beds, and you can change the sheets and wash them.
Yeah,
You know, I never thought about that.
smart.
And then there was also Sadie. It was Sasha's gone but not forgotten sister.
Sister. Oh, I miss Sadie.
Her name was Sadie because she was a pretty lady.
No.
She was actually, I've never seen another dog that looked like her. The closest thing the vet could say she was a Tennessee cur, bred for hunting, but she was just a stray dog that just showed up out of nowhere on my parents' front doorstep. I don't have a better picture
Wasn't
of
it
Sadie.
Sasha too? They were both
Yeah,
just
they
strays.
both just showed up. Because my parents live out like in the woods, so we're pretty sure like their road or a road nearby, like people use to just drop off, animals that don't
Yeah.
want anymore.
One of those dump areas.
And then very last one, two honorable mentions really quick. I didn't grow up with them, but I love them to death. My brother-in-law and sister's puppies. You got Poppy.
He's mean
You call him
unless,
Pop
unless he likes
Socket?
you. Yeah,
He's
or
got
Pop
5
Tart.
million nicknames: Pop Tart, Popcorn, Pop Socket, Soda Pop.
He's a meanie. He just finally like has accepted me into the family and lets me pet him.
We love to dress him up and put little bows on him because he's such.
He has kind of a sad story too.
Yeah, he was a rescue, and very long story short, my mom's best friend passed of cancer a couple of years ago. This was her puppy. She lived close to Savannah, and when she passed, Megan was like, I'll take the puppy."
Well, she like asked Megan to,
Well, yeah.
and Megan was like, "Oh God, like I don't know."
Gotta take
and
this
kind of had to
mean-ass
take
dog.
this mean dog, but he's much less mean now.
And then very last one, and I'll shut up and let someone else take over. I'm trying to find a good picture of Chuck.
Charlie.
His name's Charlie. It's Charlie Daniels is his full name. Charlie Daniels Kinsey.
Cute.
And I'm trying to find a good picture of him. He's full blood hound, isn't he?
Yeah, or I think he's mixed because she told me that at the vet they were like, "Oh yeah, he's mixed with something, so he's not going to get bigger than this," and he's massive.
a horse.
Yeah,
He literally like
he's bigger than Sasha.
comes to here. Like
Yeah.
he could just like rest his chin on the table like,
Yeah.
without even like standing up stretching.
Bigger than Sasha,
Yeah.
and she's a big dog.
That's the best picture I have of him quickly.
Okay, so maybe some bloodhound in him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I call him
Well,
me
he's
and
definitely hound. Yeah, he's got big ears.
Josh and I call him Chuck, and whenever we have to borrow my sister's truck, it's Charlie's truck. I was like, "Can I borrow Chuck's truck?" But those are my honorable mentions.
Well,
I forgot about Dexter.
are we just gonna go down the line? I'll do like a quick. Well, it's your grandma's cat. We don't have to go into extended
forgot about
family.
Dexter. All right, if we have time at the end, I'll share
Yeah.
Dexter.
I'll go quickly through just my childhood pets and everything. So, when I was really little, we had a dog. I want to say her name was Tracy. I don't remember her at all. I have pictures of her. She's a really pretty dog. But I know that one of the stories with her is that my brother, when he was like an infant or like just big enough to start like using his hands, he would grab her tail and put it in his ear and like swirl it as like a self-soothing thing.
Wait.
So that's like the only thing I really remember about her. And then we had two different times black labs. One was like a dog from hell and the other one was a dog from heaven. It was so weird. But the first one was the really good one. I believe this is the order it went, and I was really young. Like I barely remember these dogs. But I just know that the story was really sad with them because one of them was like the best dog ever. And my mom would walk him down to get the mail every day.
Yeah.
And one day he just stuck his leg in the road a little too far and a school bus hit him.
Oh.
Yeah. And that's how he died, which was really sad. And I remember, like, my mom told me now as an adult that, like, she had to, like, you know, try to explain to us what happened without saying that he died, you know, like, because I was really little. But I was, like, too little to even understand that he died. I was just like, oh, the dog's gone.
She didn't just go with he went to the farm?
No, like, she was, like, honest with us about it, but, like, having to be careful that we didn't see, because it was, like, at the end of our driveway.
Yeah.
She was like, I can tell you, but I don't want you to see it, you know? So that was sad. And then we got another dog, and that first dog's name was Bud, the one that died with the school bus. The second one was Rocky. Rocky, I remember. He was the spawn of freaking Satan. He, like, I hate saying that, like, there's bad dogs out there, but he was a bad dog. Like, something was wrong with him. I mean, like... he was in, like, we've never had a fully outdoor dog. Like, my family, like, doesn't really believe in that. We always have our animals inside. Like, they sleep in the bed with us and stuff. But, like, this dog had a kennel outside so that they could put him out there sometimes because we didn't have the whole yard fenced in. So he'd spend a couple hours out there, a couple hours inside, whatever. Like, first, they had to line this kennel with cinder blocks because he would dig underneath it. And then they had to, like, bury it partially so that he couldn't dig underneath it. And then when he couldn't do that, he learned how to climb the 8-foot tall fence to get out and roam the neighborhood and almost get hit by a car.
Oh my gosh.
And then actually the day that we finally lost him, because he would dart out the door if you opened the door.
Yeah.
Like, he was one of those dogs that wanted to leave for some reason. And actually Felicia came over one day as a really little kid and opened our door, and he took off and we never saw him again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
And we, like... we're kind of upset about it. And, like, we looked for him. Like, we drove around. We put up posters and everything. Like, we did what we were supposed to do. And this is, like, I'm pretty sure back before microchipping. Mm-hmm. Like, or, like, before it was a common thing to do. And, yeah, we were just like, I guess he's gone. Like, I don't know what else to do. And, yeah, hopefully someone picked him up and was like, we'll love this dog. Or he can be, like, a herding dog out in the field or something. But he was not meant for our family. And then, but then, okay, so these were my childhood dogs, Homer and Wendy, that we had from the time they were babies until I was in college. So they were like my dogs. And Homer, so Wendy was the first one we got. I was little. I remember I had to have been like 6 or 7 because I was in ballet. And I came home from ballet practice and there was this puppy. And she looks like, I'm pretty sure she was full-blood border collie. Like a black and white border collie. Little puppy.
That's
so cute. And, like, I was, like, begging, like, can we keep it? And my mom was like, I don't know. My dad had found her on the side of the interstate on his drive home and just picked her up.
Aww.
And they were like, we'll give it a week, see how she reacts with the family. And, I mean, she was an angel dog. Like, she was the sweetest, just, like, loving, cuddly, like... She didn't care about playing fetch or anything. She just wanted to be pet and lay around the house and hang out with the family and be part of the group. Yeah, she was awesome. And I remember when we had to go get her put down because I, like, left my dorm room for the day.
Yeah.
And, like, came so that I could be there with her when they put her down, which was hella traumatic. I know I'm going to have to go through it again one day if we ever have to put our cats down or something. But she was like 14 or 15.
Okay.
Yeah, so
she like lived
old.
a long time.
And she was in really, really good health up until we had to put her down. Like, she just suddenly kind of started to, like, seize. And, like, we think she had a stroke, I think is what the vet said, is, like, she probably had some kind of stroke. And they were like, it's going to just keep happening until she passes away or we can put her down. And, like, she had gone blind and everything. And we were like, all right. Like, so that was like traumatic, like watching them put your dog down. Yeah. Because I was actually in the room and everything, which I wouldn't ever not be. Like, I feel like you should be there for your pet when that happens. But, oh my God, it was hard.
It's so hard.
Yeah. So that was awful. And I'm trying not to cry about it now. But then, like, I think it was only like a year or two later, Homer had to get put down. So Homer was a full-blooded boxer. And we got him... because we were at one of my parents' friends' houses when I was little, and this guy that was like a friend of a friend showed up, and he had just bought this dog for like several $100s. Puppy, little boxer puppy. And was like, oh, I'm bringing this to my girlfriend or whatever. Like, I got her son a dog. And I was like, I want to take it home. Like, can we have it? Can I have the puppy? And I was like playing with it the whole time and everything. And he was like, I'll tell you what. If for some reason this little boy doesn't want this dog, you can have it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, but like, you got to tell my parents, get their phone number. Like, I was a little kid. I was like, because I want it. And they were like, yeah, okay. Like, knowing that we would leave and never hear about this dog again.
Yeah.
So, and they were like an hour drive away. We drove home. It was like 8 o'clock at night. And as soon as we walked in the front door, my dad's phone rang and he answered it. And he talked for a minute. And he hung up and he was like, guess I'm going to go get that damn dog. And he turned around and went back and got him.
Wow.
Where the guy's girlfriend was like, absolutely not. We don't need a dog in our house. Like, get it out. And like, would not let him bring this dog in.
Damn.
So I just lucked out being the kid that begged for the dog. Yeah. And he was a dick. Like, he was, he was so cute and like a really fun dog to have, but he was a little
yeah.
And
boxers are very high energy dogs.
Yeah, and like he didn't act like a normal boxer, and he was fun. Like, he jumped in the pool with us, and like he loved to swim, which is weird because most boxers don't. He would play fetch until he threw up. Like, he would just put his ball in your lap repeatedly. Like, there was no telling him no. And but he was fun. He was also, though, even as a puppy, he was a little dick. Like, he'd sit and whine because he wasn't tall enough to get on the couch. You'd pick him up and put him on the couch, and then he'd growl at you, like, get the off my couch. Like, he didn't want you to sit near him. Yeah, so he'd let you pet him and stuff sometimes, and he was nice to the family and a really good guard dog, but he didn't really like other people. He hated kids. Yeah. He liked us as kids, me and my brother, but any other kids, like, he was not cool with. But, anyway, yeah, he had cancer, too, and he had a tumor on his balls, so he had 3 nuts. Like 3
damn
huge nuts, and we'd always call him like 3 Nut Homer. And
damn, dude.
Yeah, and they eventually got them cut off, obviously. Yeah, but yeah, he was still a good dog and everything. He was actually pretty well trained. Like, he listened really well and everything. He was just mean. And about 2 years after Wendy went, we had to get him put down too, which was sad. But he was like, towards the end, I like almost didn't recognize him. He lived for so long for a boxer because he also made it to like 14. Yeah. And boxers normally only make it to like 10 to 12. Yeah. And they almost always end up with cancer. So I was surprised he made it that far. But anyway, yeah, other than that, all I had was, I remember I had a hamster when I was really little named Hammy that lived for like 2 months, as hamsters do. I had a bird, a little finch, for like 3 years. Which is about their lifespan, I believe. I think it's 3 to 5 years or something. But I don't know how old it was when I got it, because some old lady gave it to my dad. Yeah. And he knew I wanted a bird, and I immediately like regretted having a bird. Like, I took care of it, but I was just kind of like, take care of it and ignore it otherwise, because it was just loud and horrible, and I don't recommend it if you want any kind of low maintenance pet. They are not it.
The thing that people forget about rodents is that many of them are nocturnal.
Well, and this was a bird, and the bird was not nocturnal.
Oh, yeah, birds just suck.
No.
Yeah, they smell terrible. They squawk at all hours of the night whenever they feel like it, and like mine would get confused and like smack into the sides of the cage and stuff, and like, oh, it was so bad. And like, a finch is not a kind of bird where you can like bond with it super well like you can like a parakeet. Yeah. So you can't like take it out and let it perch on your finger and stuff. As far as I know, I tried, but like, it was like just scary.
They're not as personable. Yeah. They're just kind of like little rocks with beaks.
Yeah. And then we had a snake for a while. It was like my brother's snake mostly, and funny enough, his name was Charlie too. And then we had like a slew of different fish. We always had a fish tank going. And I actually remember our longest living fish lived for almost 3 full years. Wow. His name was Skipper. And he was a fish that I caught with a Ziploc bag in a lake and put in our fish tank. Yeah. And he lived so long.
Dude, your family.
Yeah.
Caught him with a Ziploc bag.
Yeah, my dad was like, please don't put that in my fish tank. And I was like, Dad, it's Skipper. We have to keep him.
And then Skipper lived for years.
Yeah, outlived every other fish in that tank.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
What does that say about the fish that are grown and sold? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just saying.
Okay.
Man.
I'm
Conspiracy cast.
gonna skip myself to Eric because I have a list.
Okay.
So, I had a lot of pets growing up. Obviously, we've talked about the fact that I don't remember a whole lot about my childhood, but I remember most of the pets we had. Mm-hmm. Namely, so growing up, we had an iguana for a long time.
Ooh.
We actually had, I think we had 2 at one point. But I remember we had an iguana with a really, really big tail. We always had this massive fucking enclosure for it. And my brother, Mark, the first dog I can remember, he had this Chihuahua named Coco.
Aw.
And that dog hated everyone but him.
That's how those little dogs
That's
are.
Poppy.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone but him. If you try to get near him while the dog was around, he'd growl at you. Dog hated everyone. And then we also had ferrets.
Oh, God.
Like 5 to 6 ferrets.
Oh, God.
A lot.
The smell.
Like constantly. I love ferrets.
Have you ever seen that Ferret Daddy account on TikTok?
Yeah. They
That's
are
what I imagine
such
it'd be like.
cool animals.
They're entertaining as
They're
hell.
so fun, but they smell so bad.
they're stinky. Gotta give them
Stinky.
I love ferrets so much.
Well, and they just secrete that smell naturally, even
Yeah.
if they're clean.
Yeah, they're
now.
musky.
Yeah,
They're related to skunks.
they are really cute though.
They're so cute. They're noodle cats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love
Snakes.
Yeah, cat snakes. Love ferrets. We had a bunch of them growing up, like on and off throughout the years.
What did Theo Vaughn call them? Like the limousine of rats.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I like that. That's pretty freaking good. I'm trying to think. So, like, we had all of those growing up. I don't think I had any other type of animals like that. I didn't actually have my first, my first dog until, I want to say, in my sophomore year. I got a pit mix. I named her Megatron. And we called her Meg for short.
Oh my God.
I loved that dog.
Like the Family Guy episode?
Like Meg, yeah.
Yeah.
But we named her Megatron. Her actual name.
Well, have you seen that episode of Family Guy
yeah,
where
we're
she's
like-
like, Meg's actually short for something else? And then it shows Peter signing the birth certificate and he signs it Megatron.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it was about that specifically.
Oh, so you came up with the joke first is what it is.
Maybe.
You need to sue them.
Ooh,
But yeah.
Seth MacFarlane stole from you.
But yeah, her name was Megatron. We named her Meg. She was awesome. She was a really cool dog. She was really sweet. I can't remember what happened to that dog. I don't remember what happened at all, or where she went and what happened to it, but I have zero memory.
Yeah.
Blocked it out.
It's gone. There's
Yeah.
nothing there. And my mom had a dog. She had several dogs while I was living with her in Arizona. Namely, Chunks was the longest living.
Chunks?
It's this little one-eyed Shih Tzu.
Oh,
And he was adorable. I loved him so much. He's so cute. He lived to be about 15. So he was
Oh,
really
wow.
old. But yeah, he had just a little one-eyed Shih Tzu, and he was really cute and really sweet and
Chunks.
slept in the room. I had a picture of him whenever I was still living there where he curled up inside my pants, like when they were on the floor. I took my pants off there while he was just curled up sleeping inside of them.
aw.
So yeah, he was really sweet. She had a couple dachshunds. At one point, they got rid of them for some reason. I can't remember, but... and then when I moved out... and I got to my first duty station, I had been married, got married to my ex-wife, and we got Buddy was the first one.
Aw.
So Buddy has an
Buddy.
interesting, weird story to go with him. So he was 3 years old when I got him.
Oh, so you're stepmommy, kind of.
Okay, we don't bring that up because I did almost fight her once about
Yeah.
Buddy. Yeah. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, I'll get to that during this story.
Oh, yay.
So Buddy was 3 years old when I got him. It was a really shady pound. Like, it was a kill shelter too.
Yeah.
So he was, I think, a week away from being put down because he hadn't been taken. He hadn't been adopted. So we saved him from that.
Which is fair because he's not very friendly with strangers. He's very shy.
Yeah. He's a lot better now than he was 5 years ago. But when we got him, we took him to the vet. had all his tests done, got him his shots, did all that good stuff, and they're like, oh, he has heartworms. No. We took him to go get neutered, I think is what it was, because he hadn't been neutered yet. And that was whenever they did not do a heartworm test before they did it. And so whenever we took him back, they did the tests and everything, and we found out he had heartworms. And they're like, it's going to be like a $900 procedure to get rid of it, and he's going to have to stay at the vet for a week. And I was like, well, I'm not paying that. The damn vet's going to, or the pound's paying that.
Yeah.
So we called back, and they were like, yeah, y'all are paying for this because this is literally negligence on your part for not doing these tests before you did surgery. So that was the scariest moment I've had with him since I've had him.
Did they cover it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They paid for it. I was
Thank
super
God.
pissed because I was like, I've had this dog literally a month maybe.
Yeah.
I was like, he already has heartworms. And they didn't even do anything correctly. And I was mad.
Yeah, and that he's had it the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, they haven't treated it.
And so
yet.
when we found this out, we had just gotten Reese. So, by the way, Buddy is at this point, he's 9, almost 10.
Yeah, and so he's a black lab, and we think he's mixed with some collie because he has some white on his chest and on his toes.
Yeah.
And that long snout.
And he's got
with the pointy.
he's got longer hair too.
Yeah.
So
It's kind of curly on
He
his
actually
back.
reminds
He's
me
so
of
cute.
Wendy, my border collie.
Yeah,
so much.
he definitely has some border collie look, but like you can see the lab in him
yeah,
too.
real bad. But
Yeah.
I never knew what he was because, of course, they didn't even know what he was whenever we got him, and he already had a name. His name was Buddy when we got him. I didn't choose that. But we had already just gotten Reese while Buddy was at the vet. And so
Oh yeah, and Reese is a basset hound.
Reese is that's my baby. I'm talking about in a second. So Buddy comes back and the vet's like, hey, he can't have an elevated heart rate for like a month. I'm like, oh, great. I just got an 8-week-old puppy. And now I have to literally keep them separated for a month while Buddy heals from this freaking procedure. Because he came back and he just his whole upper butt was shaved from like all the injections and stuff they were giving him. And I'm like, Buddy, your butt's naked. Because he didn't have you ain't got no hair, Lieutenant Dan.
I know that.
But so I had to try and keep them separated. So this brand new puppy, he was just running around being crazy, and then he just wants to play with it. I'm like, no, you can't. You need to chill your heart. So Reese, I take full responsibility for how he turned out.
He's a menace.
He is a
I love
menace.
him. He's adorable, but he's a menace.
So yeah, Reese is my baby. I got him from a breeder. Unfortunately, it's not good to buy from breeders.
Yeah.
You
It's
should
just
adopt your dogs.
Not super certified breeder.
Yeah.
But they I think are still breeding. Like they're decent people, I think, from what you've told me about them. But yeah.
I feel like there's a time and place for breeders.
Adopting versus shopping kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to encourage it over getting a dog from a shelter because there's a lot of
100%.
shelter dogs that need it. But if you're someone that wants a dog and you need a hypoallergenic breed or you need a working dog,
Yes.
the breed does make a difference. So
Yes.
if it's someone that's doing a really good job with it and retiring their dogs after a couple litters and not making it an animal abuse situation, then I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with it.
Yeah,
but
if you need or want a specific breed, I kind of get it a bit more, but still shop responsibly. But if you just want a dog because you want a dog, please go to a shelter and adopt.
yeah.
Yes, they
Or
will love
even-
you 10 times
Or
more.
even
Yeah.
elderly dogs. So there's so many care facilities for elderly dogs that get abandoned just because they're old or they may have health issues. And there's plenty
Yeah.
that don't have health issues and they're just old and lazy.
Yeah.
Oh, I've always said once I have kids that are off in college, that's going to be my thing. It's I'm just going to adopt 2 really old animals at a time, take care of them through their end of life. And,
Feed them
Get more.
cheeseburgers and give them whipped cream.
Give them whatever they want.
Yeah. But
yeah.
so I was trying to keep them separated the whole time. Reese is, of course, freaking just energetic and just running all over the place, tripping over his ears. Because as a puppy, his ears did not get any bigger. He had to grow into them.
Yeah.
And of course, they're still large because he's a basset hound, so he doesn't trip on them anymore. But yeah, it was funny to watch him running around tripping on his ears because he's so low to the freaking ground. And so he's going to be. I got him in 2015. He was born December of 2014. I got him in February 2015, I think.
So he's gonna be like what, 8 or 9?
That makes
Yeah.
him 8 this year.
Yeah. So I've had him since he was 8 weeks old. That's my baby. He is an actual brat. You can't be anywhere without him trying to be near you in any shape
He's
or form.
literally
He
outside
wants-
the door right
Yeah, I
now.
He
know.
wants to be in your skin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally. If I wake up, he's on the bed if she's not home. Like on the weekends, I wake up in the morning, he's on the bed with me. Because he always slept in the bed with me prior to us being together and while I was by myself.
Yeah.
Both the dogs slept in the bed with me. They always did.
The only reason they don't now, because there's no room. We have a queen size bed.
Yeah.
There's just not enough room for all 4 of us. But also, when I met him and he was living his bachelor lifestyle, the first time I got in his bed, it was full of like little grains of dirt.
Nope.
And anytime I got in his bed, I had to like,
Yeah, and dog
like the-
hair. I cannot stand, like, my cats don't really shed. Like, rarely shed. Not much.
My cat shed a lot. I
Yep.
don't notice it like I did all the dirt that was in the bed.
But, like,
no.
when you're trying to breathe in your pillow and, like, hairs are hitting your nose, that is the worst feeling
Yeah, I don't
in
let
the
them,
world.
even when they're on the beds now, I don't let them up by the pillows.
Yeah.
No, I miss it when Ivy used to sleep on me.
Oh, yeah.
I loved that so much. But so Reese, he's been my baby for a long time. Both of them have. I had a weird situation with with both of them, or Buddy at one point mainly, and
Well, it was all weird when you got deployed.
yeah. So I kind of had to split my dogs up a little bit. So when I first got to Texas, I was there for a year. Buddy, I had sent back with my ex-wife for a while, who wasn't even taking care of him. The Buddy was actually staying with somebody random
Wait, are you talking about when you got deployed?
before,
Okay.
because I got him back before. Or no, he was with,
They were split up twice?
yeah.
Oh. I forgot about the first time then. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
She wasn't even taking care of him. He was with somebody random. Didn't even know who was taking care of him. Didn't know how well they were taking care of him. So I get back and I get Buddy back, and I'm still at this point. I'm back from my deployment. Restayed with my mom the whole time, which was fine. It was whatever. But I'm going through my divorce now, and I'm like, hey, like, can I get the ring back?
No,
Like,
this is...
this is after the deployment.
You explained that like it was 2 separate stories, not like it was all the same story.
Oh, my bad.
I got it all as one story.
You explained it very weird because I lived through this and I had no idea what the fuck you were talking about. So
I'm
when
still trying to go. I'm trying to remember it all.
so when we got together,
Yeah.
you had both of the dogs
Yes.
in the house in Texas.
Yes, the first house.
You got deployed and the ex-wife came and got the dogs.
Got Buddy.
No,
Reese went to my mom.
not right away.
I don't remember that.
I do. I'll tell the story. F that bitch. So here's what happened. So you left,
Yes.
came to pick up the dogs and lock up the house and turn in your key. Took the dogs to Kansas.
Yeah.
At no point did they live with her. She dropped them off with some rando. By rando, I mean obviously somebody we didn't know. I assume.
Why did she take them if she didn't want to take care of them?
Because she's a bitch.
Oh, like just to hurt Eric, or
No, just she's like negligent. Like she really, my interpretation of this person who I have never met is that she acts like she's like really like got her together and she doesn't. Never has, never will.
no? I'm just confused as like, so if they were living with y'all,
Me.
yeah. Oh, so Alicia wasn't living with you yet.
No.
No,
okay, that
so
makes
he
more
deployed
sense.
when we had been together for 3 months.
Yeah.
So we
Gotcha.
didn't live together, but we were dating.
Okay, that makes more sense because I was like, why wouldn't she just let Alicia watch
Yeah,
them?
I
She
lived in the
wasn't gonna watch
barracks,
them.
so
Okay.
I couldn't, or I
That makes
would.
sense. I
Yeah.
was confused.
Yeah, no, sorry. So she takes the dogs. They're living with some dude in his freaking apartment. A couple of months go by, and while you were deployed, you guys started divorce proceedings. And while all that was going on, she brought up that guy didn't want to take care of Reese anymore. Reese wasn't neutered yet. He cried all the time. He was very obnoxious and very needy. And he's very attached to Buddy, especially. So the guy was like, I'm not taking care of this dog anymore. So, like, either you got to take it or you got to get rid of it. Like, he was going to take Reese to the pound.
Yeah.
Did not want to take care of him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, remember?
I blocked all of that out.
Yeah, trauma. Was it Dusty that drove out?
Yeah, Dusty
From
did.
Arizona to Kansas.
Oh, wow.
To get Reese. Had to leave Buddy.
Aw.
Reese is extremely attached to Buddy. He's been
they're
around his
bonded
entire
now.
life. So when Reese was in Arizona,
Yep.
that was before they moved to Oklahoma. By himself, like the neighbor had a black lab, and Reese would just sit at the fence and cry and cry and cry because he thought it was Buddy.
Aw.
So
Poor Reese.
all this time goes by, right? So when Eric gets back from his deployment, he of course goes home to visit family. So he drives to Arizona and back.
I flew out there, drove back.
Oh, because they had your... That's
Yeah,
right,
my
because they
truck.
got your truck
Yeah.
from her as well after her friend keyed it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
truck?
Yeah.
Yep. Still has the marks in it, too.
Pets. Pets. Save it for the other one.
I know, I'm sorry. So Eric flew to Arizona, got his truck, drove home with Reese after we got a house in Texas again. And then a few months had gone by when we were finally able to get Buddy.
Yeah.
And they had a conversation over the phone, and she said, when I get my life together, I want Buddy back. After he had asked for the ring back, if she still had it. Mm-hmm. Which she didn't. She pawned it. That's fine. Whatever. You could have just not lied, but whatever.
Yeah.
And he goes, okay, when is that going to be? Because she's never had her together.
Yeah, it's also like, it's my animal. I'm not babysitting it.
Yeah,
for
literally
you.
can't afford to keep the... Because Buddy was supposed to be hers originally,
Yeah.
but she's never been able to take care of him. She can't afford to take care of him. But he told me this, and I was like, over my dead f***ing body. That's my dog now.
Yeah.
I love him. He loves me. We are bonded.
Yeah.
I will f***ing fight you for that dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is Eric's actual story.
Trauma blocking.
Trauma block. I can't believe you forgot. Because, yeah, I was really mad that the dogs got separated because, like, obviously it's already really hard because their actual dad wasn't there. And then they get shipped out of state with somebody that they don't live with anymore. And then they're not even living with her. And then they get separated.
Were they like
and one
super
moved
excited
different
to
state.
see each other again?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I had a video of me getting Buddy back, and I'm literally, like, falling on the ground because he's tackling me.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
going
It was
fucking
fully one
nuts.
of those, like, reuniting with your dog kind of videos.
Yeah.
It was exactly that. It was so cute. And then him and Buddy and Reese being reunited was so sweet. But he didn't give a about me. But it was really sweet.
That's adorable.
Yeah. And then we got together and we got our cats. And we love them.
And
They're
Ivy
bitches.
chose me.
Yeah, I'll tell
And
that.
Harlan.
I'll tell that story.
Freya chose me.
Yeah, our cats always choose their person.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
So I have a long history of pets as well. My first pet was a dog named Jenny, and they got her when I was 18 weeks old, and she was also 18 weeks old.
Aw.
And she chose me. She didn't
Aw.
she was a very calm dog for being really, really young. And she like we lived like in an apartment complex on the Marine base, and my mom said there was like a pond in the middle of it with like a little pathway around it. Like all the moms would like be out there with their kids and stuff. And there was like a guy in the neighborhood who would like get all the kids in a wagon and like walk them around the pond.
Aw.
And like my mom wouldn't always see when this would happen, but like Jenny would like get up and follow us all the way around the
Aw.
pond. And then we get back, and then she just lay in the yard and watch me play. And like she would let me do anything to her. Like sweetest dog in the world.
What kind of breed was she?
She was an Australian Shepherd, and I believe like a Border Collie mix. We're not 100% sure,
Aussies.
but she had heterochromia, so she had different colored eyes. She had like icy blue eyes with like a speck of brown in it, and then she had like a white and blue merle coat.
Aw.
which was really funny, was my dad was like that guy who like he kept bringing pets home, and my mom was like, I don't want a dog because you're never home. I don't want to take care of the dog, so she kept getting rid of the dogs. And then finally, when he got Jenny, she like that was like her breaking point. She gave up, and she like thought Jenny was an ugly dog, and she didn't want her. But Jenny was just a really good dog, so we ended up keeping her. She was a great dog. I think we had her until I was like 12 or so, and then like I went to like my grandmother's for a week, and when I came back, they'd put her down. She had cancer, and she was really old, but I was really sad about it, of course, because that was my first dog.
Aussies are such great dogs.
Yeah, not my type of breed, but I do love them because I grew up with them.
Yeah.
The other dog that we had that overlapped with that was another Australian Shepherd named Becca, and she had like a brown merle coat. She was just a good dog. She was a really sweet family dog. My mom had a cat named Abby that looked like a blue Russian, like a pure gray cat.
Yeah.
When I was little, I don't remember Abby, but my mom always says that Abby was her favorite cat, like just a good cat. And then when we lived in an apartment in Morrow when I was like 6, they ended up taking in a stray cat from outside, and it was like a black and white cat. I named her Purr.
Aww.
Because she just purred all the time, so loud. And I remember when they got her, they didn't realize that she was pregnant. And one day there was like a dark spot behind the couch, and they were like, "Hey, Alicia," as you know, I was like 6. They're like, "Go touch that, see if it's furry or if it's poop." Luckily, it was furry. She had 2 kittens behind the couch. Aww. And so they took them to Walmart and adopted them out when they were like old enough.
I love that they sent the kid in for like
dead ass. They were like, "Go touch it and see if it's poop."
It's fine. Kids touch poop all the time.
Yeah. So yeah. And then we moved here with Purr and Jenny. And I think we got Becca when we were here. And unfortunately, Purr got attacked by a couple dogs that were roaming the neighborhood that were like known to be aggressive. It was like the dogs you see them outside and like you have to come home immediately kind of dogs. But yeah, they killed my cat.
Would shout out, do not walk your dogs off leash. If you walk your dogs off leash, you're immediately an asshole and I don't like you.
Yeah, just like keep your dogs on leashes, please. Don't be jerks.
Or in the backyard or something contained.
Yeah.
Even if they're good dogs, because you never know what could happen to them.
Yeah, just stuff happens. But yeah, these dogs like free roamed from time to time because it was a bulldog and a chow chow. And like
chow chows are mean.
Yeah, chow chows are notoriously just not friendly dogs. And yeah, I've always been scared of them because of that. Even though I know there's good chows out there. Just like that was my childhood association was this is the mean dog that roams my neighborhood.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to think. We had 2 ferrets when I was little named... No, we had 3. It was Forrest and Tequila. And then they got a 3rd one named Cosmo.
Aww.
And they always used to talk about how smart they were. Like, they would, like, put something Tequila wanted on top of, like a dresser or something. And they would watch her, like, formulate a plan to, like, climb the curtains and then go over the curtain rod and then down onto the dresser so she could take whatever it was that she wanted. She was... that was funny. And we had another one when I was a teenager that my brother named Nibbles. That is N-I-B-B, not nipples, Nibbles. And he was sweet, but we didn't keep him long because my brother just didn't like know how to play with him very nicely. There was a really long stint where my parents had fish tanks, and my dad like would bounce between like having like saltwater fish tanks and freshwater fish.
So did mine.
Tanks.
I think that's a dad thing.
Yeah, I'm like we had like cichlid tanks for a while, and then we had saltwater tanks where like we had lionfish and jellyfish, and we had a puffer fish named Puffin.
Puffin.
Yeah, he was sweet. We had an eel named Zed, and he jumped out of the tank one time. And this was before I had ever seen Pulp Fiction. My dad came in one time and was like, "Zed's dead, baby, Zed's dead." And I was like, "No, not the eel." And he's like, "Pulp Fiction, dude." And I was like, "I don't know what the f- that is, but is the eel okay?" The eel was okay. Just, we had a lot of strange pets. So then one time my parents drove to a different state, and my mom texted me and said that they got a goat. They didn't get a goat. They came home with a Great Dane puppy.
Oh, I remember your Great Dane. And
Sammy.
his name the one time I went to your house in high school.
Yeah.
He was so freaking cute.
Yeah, his name was
Yeah.
Samson. His full name was Samson Damon Sa Diablo Johnson.
Explanation, please.
It was from a book that for like me and both of my parents read, and we all like are. It's my favorite book series, and I read it every year. It's called the Black Jewel series by Anne Bishop. But one of the main characters is called Damon Sa Diablo. And because we were all obsessed with it, my mom named him Samson Damon Sa Diablo
That's
Johnson. And he was the best dog. He's such a sweetheart. And I have such a soft spot for Great Danes because they're just genuinely such good
They're
dogs.
cool dogs.
Yeah. Just monstrous animals. My dad taught him this bad trick where he would go, Sammy Dukes, and he'd throw his fist up like he was gonna fight, and Samson would jump up and put his like paws on my dad's shoulders. And, you know, when that dog was on his back feet, he could put his head on the top of the refrigerator.
Yeah.
It's a big ass dog. Look at, he was very sweet, very well behaved, and he was very protective of the females in the family. He hated when I had guys over. Because he would growl at them.
Yeah.
And like, he was really sweet until he started growling, and they're like, oh, that's a big, scary dog.
Yeah. He's big boy.
Yeah. We had another Australian Shepherd that was brown and white, the most beautiful Australian Shepherd I've ever seen. But they made the mistake of naming him Loki, which immediately cursed everything. That dog was very alpha.
Yeah.
And like, he caught a bird in the backyard one time, and I remember taking the bird, like I had to go and wrench the bird out of his mouth. I don't know if he like caught it out of the sky or he found it dead in the yard or what, but he had a whole bird in his mouth.
Oh my God.
Like a jay or something.
Yeah.
And ever since then, he growled at me anytime I walked through a room. He was very alpha.
You took my kill.
Yeah, so they ended up rehoming him to somebody who would exercise with him a lot more.
Yeah.
And luckily, like, they actually still keep up with them. And,
Aw.
like, they are just obsessed with him. He went to a really good home.
Good.
And then I had two cats that I was most associated with, which were Hunter and Kara, which is funny because I have a friend named Kara.
Yeah.
So we always said that was her furry side. And Kara was like Ivy. She was really small, but she was fat.
Aww.
And Hunter was big and he was fat. And they both looked like Siamese, but Hunter had white on his chin. And I remember Hunter would like sit on windowsills, and I'd go and I'd like tickle his belly that hung over because he was so chunky. And he just passed away a few years ago, actually.
Aww.
He lived a really long time. And then my parents have a bunch of little dogs now. They stopped getting big dogs. So
Yeah.
now they've got a Pomeranian, a mini Australian Shepherd, which has actually been renamed the Mini American Shepherd, I think, and a collie. Like not a border collie, like a
Yeah.
Lassie collie.
Yeah.
Named Dexter.
Dexter.
Aw.
I call him Dexter.
Dexter.
He's so
Fluffy
cute.
butt.
Hey, little Dexter. He's so cute. And then, of course, we've got Reese and Buddy.
Yep.
And Harley and Ivy, which Harley I got as soon as we got our house together. When he got back from deployment, because I was like, okay, we got a house. Can I go get a cat?
Yeah.
And I used to volunteer at the shelter that we went to. So I was like, guys,
I already know which one.
where's your friendliest cat?
Yeah.
And they took me to Harley. And her sister had already been adopted. And so she was by herself. She had a twin sister. And their names in the shelter, you know, they always give them like silly names or theme names. And it was around Christmas time. So their names originally were Twinkle and Tinsel. I won't know which one it is without literally going into my file cabinet to find her file. But I only found out later they lived in the same town still because I took her to the vet. And we're like, didn't we see this cat? They said, didn't we see this cat earlier today? And I was like, no, but what was its name? And they said either Twinkle or Tinsel. I was like, that's her sister!
That's so cute.
Yeah, I was like, what is weird world that, like, we live in, like, this area where 3 towns are very involved with each other, and we just happen to be in the exact same area with the same vet on the same day.
Probably a dumb question. Is that why y'all call her Tinsel sometimes?
They don't.
I swear I've heard like
No.
one of y'all say Tinsel.
They've told us this story.
I haven't told this story.
The funny thing about, like, so when me and Ryan got Freya and Cerise, because we got them like 2 months apart, we wanted to get them vetted and make sure like that there was nothing wrong with them,
Yeah, of
and
course.
get them fixed and everything, and be like responsible pet owners. So we took them to the vet, and they were like, "Yeah, we'll do all that and everything," which was traumatic, by the way. I did not know that how invasive, like, they had to take a fecal sample,
Yeah.
which was basically taking a bubble wand and shoving it up their butts. And the first one, they made me hold her down. And I was like, I don't like this. And she was like, yeah, you're probably right. Like, let me get a nurse in here so you don't have to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, please don't make me be the bad guy to my cats. But that was like horrible. But it was to make sure they didn't have worms or anything. Which they were actually very healthy. Like, nothing was wrong with them.
That's very fortunate.
But the scary part was they were like, okay, since they were strays, we have to scan them for a microchip. And if they have one, we can't give them back to you.
Yeah.
And I was like, excuse me? Like, first of all, I looked around to like see if anyone was missing a cat before we just decided that these are our cats now. The second one was being abused. Like, she was thrown out of a window. I'm not like, I will tuck this cat under my shirt and run out of here. Try
I'll fight
me.
you.
Yeah.
Try me, bitch.
And I'm sure that like our vet was nice and understanding and was like, so hopefully we don't find one. You know, like, I know y'all are obviously taking good care of them. Like, they seem well fed and they're both healthy and clean and everything. So luckily they didn't find one, but oh my God, that was like, my heart was pounding out of my chest. I remember holding Ryan's hand like, I'm going to faint.
If they have.
Didn't like a couple days after Tina had grabbed Cerise, that person that like threw out of the window, like came to her house.
It was one
of
her neighbors.
It was like, hey, I want that cat back. And he was like, you can go yourself, buddy.
Yeah.
Like,
That's just crazy.
Yeah. Which we'll bleep her name in it just in case like that person listens or whatever. But yeah, like, and then he like asked for either our address or our phone number from her, and she was like, no.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, you cat abuser.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I think she was like a bait kitten or something.
Oh, yeah. Well, and then, so we got Ivy at the same shelter like 6 months later because I like stopped by there because I just like missed the shelter. And I saw this little kitten all by herself. And as soon as I opened it, she crawled on my chest.
Oh.
She was so sweet. I called Eric and I was like,
I'm so sorry.
if I get a cat, are you going to be mad at me? And then she picked him over me. And I was like, I brought you home, you traitor.
That's the thing that pisses me off about Freya is because Ryan was kind of like, I don't know, babe. Like, I mean, I guess we can keep her, but we really don't need a cat right now. And like, we had only been together a couple months when we moved in together. So like, it was.
So you like pulled the full lesbian.
Oh yeah, we just went straight into
straight for it.
Straight for family of 3.
We're just missing a Subaru.
Subaru.
But yeah, like he was like, I don't know, and yeah, then she picked him, and I was like, I'm the one that fought for you, you little bitch.
Well, and I remember too, we had 3 days to take her back to the shelter, like no questions asked. And for the first 3 days that I had her in the house, I thought Harley was going to kill her. I was so scared.
Yeah.
And I was like, this would absolutely suck. So like day 3, I was like really stressing it. I was like, I don't know, because if I go tomorrow, like they can't take her back. I have to, like, I don't know what to do. And suddenly the next day they were best friends.
Yeah, when we brought, do you want to tell the story or do you want me to?
No matter.
All right, I'll tell it then. Or you can butt in, but.
So the story title
You're going
is
to tell it.
Freya, no, I was giving the title.
Oh, okay.
Freya literally beats the out of Cerise.
Yeah. So we had Freya for like
that by
a month or
be
two.
a Reddit story.
Yeah. When we got Cerise was a baby. Cerise is the alpha. She still is. Like, she came in and was like, this is my place now. I don't give a shit about anyone else in here. Like, I am on top. So Freya has like conceded to it and is comfortable just existing. We bring in this kitten and they immediately hate each other, of course, because that's how cats are. And I'm like, but they're not fighting or anything. So I'm like, it's going to be fine. Like, they'll end up getting along. Like, whatever. And a few days go by where we're like kind of keeping them separated, letting them interact some. Well, then one day after like, I don't know, maybe a week, they're like kind of getting along. Like, they're sitting kind of close to each other, sitting in the same room, eating next to each other. They still don't like each other, but they're like, okay.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, cool. We can like release the reins a little bit now. And we're both sitting there gaming. And at the time, we had our dining room set up as a gaming room to where we both had our desks in there. So we're sitting there, we're gaming back to back. And we hear from the bedroom, like, this cat yowling sound. And it was, like, kind of fast. So we were like, what was that? Like, we both look at each other. We had our headphones on. And we heard it through that. we're like, what the heck? And we listen for a second and we hear it again. And I'm like, that's the cats. We like throw our headphones down and run into the room. And what we come into is Cerise, our new kitten, on her back, like airplane ears, straight back, like all pupils, claws out, teeth showing, screaming, while Freya's not doing anything to her. She's standing over her and just whacks her in the face over and over and over again. And every time she does it, Cerise is squirting diarrhea out of her ass. Just like whack, 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 over and over. So then when Cerise finally tries to fight back, so it just becomes like a shit cat tornado. There's shit flying I swear to God, it probably got on the ceiling. Like the Tasmanian devil thing, except it's 2 cats and just shit flying everywhere. All over our bed, like everything. So I'm like, what do I do? I'm like trying to pull them apart and I'm like getting scratched. And I'm like, I don't want to get cat diarrhea in my cat scratches. So Ryan brings me some oven mitts. And I tell him, like, what are we? Because we don't have crates for them or anything. Like, we had just gotten them. And I'm like, we got to separate them somehow. And he's like, all right, hold on. And he gets like a cardboard box that we had like bought something on Amazon on, like a big one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he's like poking holes in it, getting ready for us to have to throw one of them in there while we wash the other one. And we end up like, I pry them apart with oven mitts on. I'm covered in cat shit. They're covered in cat shit. The oven mitts, I had to throw them away. They're covered in cat shit. We put one of them just covered in cat shit in a box so that she won't get cat shit all over the rest of the house. And we just like, we taped the box shut and like, there was holes in it, you know. She's just sitting in there crying, and we're like, "I'm sorry, Freya," but like,
no, that was Cerise. It was in the box.
Cerise was in the box.
Freya
yeah,
got the bath first.
So yeah, and then like we had given them a bath when we first got them because they were both strays with fleas and dirt all over them and stuff.
Yeah.
You're not even supposed to bathe cats this often, but obviously like we have to. So yeah, I had to sit fully clothed in my bathtub, like crisscross applesauce, with oven mitts on and just like pour shampoo over these cats and like, because I can't use my fingers and get in there because they were like going to tear me apart.
Yeah.
Just scrubbing diarrhea off of cats.
Oh, God.
Oh, the poor things. And then like it was cold out. It was winter time. So we had to blow dry them afterwards to make sure they didn't freeze.
Yeah.
And oh my God, it was an ordeal. And then we had to go in after, because obviously we want to take care of the cats first, take care of them, lock them out of the room, and keep them in separate areas still, just in case it happens again, and then go in the room and clean up all the cat in the room, throw that box away. Oh my God, it was an ordeal.
Best friends ever since.
Yeah, they like, and weirdly enough, even though Freya was the one that beat the out of Cerise, like Cerise is the alpha. She's like the head cat.
But I think
now.
there's like a little bit of respect there now.
Yeah.
Where Cerise is like, yeah, this is my house, but please don't hit me.
Yeah. And Freya's just like, I'm just too tired of your shit. I don't care. Yeah.
That's funny.
That was traumatic because I've never been a cat owner.
Yeah.
So, like we had a cat when I was a little kid for a very short amount of time that was like an outdoor cat mostly that I didn't like super bond with or anything. But yeah, like it's just like, what the is this? And I was like, do we even want to keep these cats? Like,
Yeah.
I was like rethinking my life choices. But
I've never had cats act like that. Like we had
Yeah.
one kitten very temporarily when we lived in an apartment, and I'm pretty sure they literally named him Psycho because he like attacked everything.
Oh
I
my
remember
God.
it was like an orange cat too. And I know we didn't have him for very long, but I don't actually know what happened to him. I don't know if
Yeah.
they just like put him outside or if they like got him a new home or whatever, but
I have a theory that
every
like
cat I've had has been really nice.
I don't think that they would have fought like that if it weren't for, I think that they were like kind of playing, or maybe Freya like bucked at her and she
Yeah.
got scared and shit.
Yeah.
And then like with the smell and like what just happened.
There was just like a lot going on.
Yeah, like Cerise got really scared and overwhelmed, and then Freya was like, what the heck kind of defense is this? And it just started fighting.
Instead of it went full fight or flight, and they
Yeah,
fought.
and it was a real fight, and that's the only real fight they've ever been in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, our cats are very peaceful for the most part, but like at least once a week they get into like their bullshit at night and they're like, oh, it's playtime, but like we're gonna growl and chase each other. And they always want to do it right when I start to drift off to sleep. And suddenly they will be in my bedroom like,
Yeah.
and I'll be like, are you fucking kidding me? Like throwing shit at them. And then they're like, what? We didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Chill, Mom. God.
You f***ing menaces. Also, my cats have made it a sport to beat up Reese.
Oh, yeah.
Every once in a while, from a different room in the house, I'll just hear,
Aww.
and it's because one of them smacked the shit out of him. And that, like, I've watched.
We've got videos of Harley doing it.
Yeah, I've literally watched him, like, laying there doing nothing, being good for once in his life. And I have watched Ivy stalk across the room, and she's like, just got something in her little brain. She's like, I'm f***ing this dog up right now. And one time I stopped her too. I was like, Ivy. And she like looks at me and she walks in the other direction, but she was like beelining it. Like she had on like the cat prowl.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't know, today's a day.
Because like we've got videos of Reese having zoomies, and then like Harley literally just like sitting right here at the door, just like
Yeah, we'll wait for her
getting
to
all
run
close to
through
the
so
ground.
she can smack him.
And then him running out of the door and her chasing after him with one arm in there, like slapping him.
It's like a fight at the wall.
Our cat Cerise likes to hide behind corners and wait for us to come around so that she can like pat 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 on your leg when you walk by.
So like so like speaking of like the experience like that with like the puke and stuff, or like the shit. So like I had one like that with Harley while you were gone to you were gone to Georgia.
Yeah, I was training for a new job, and Eric called me to tell me about this.
It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen from an animal. So Harley had gotten sick. Like we think she got an upper respiratory infection. Mm-hmm. So she wasn't drinking water. She wasn't eating.
No, it wasn't upper respiratory.
No, it was the
pancreatitis.
Pancreatitis, yeah. Ivy had upper respiratory.
Yeah,
That's why we.
I actually have a picture. She had upper respiratory when we got her, and every time she sneezed, her tongue stuck out. So I actually have a picture of her and Harley sitting next to each other, so you can see the size difference. But there's just a little pink tongue right on
That's
Ivy.
why we started calling her Ickle.
Yeah, because she was icky all the time.
Yeah, like always gross.
She's nickel bitty baby.
Yeah, but so Harley was sick. She was very just like not into it for anything. And then one day I was in the bedroom. I think I just got home. And she's just sitting there, and you just start hearing, and then I'm talking projectile, like a good 2.5, 3 feet across the bedroom floor. Just, I'm colorblind, so it was brown to me. I don't know what color it was, but it was brown, and there was a lot of it. And I'm talking like machine gun, like from left to right.
She was a sprinkler.
Yes, literally. So like it starts here, and she's like, and just covered the floor with it. And I'm just like,
I'm
an exorcism.
so thankful I was not there for that.
Yeah.
Wait, I remember another time I was also not here for this.
You talking about Reese?
Yes.
Yeah, so there was another time with Reese, except it came out the other
But
end.
you called,
God.
but you called me, and because I don't know if I was gone or what the case was.
It was my first house in Texas.
Oh, so
We hadn't
maybe
been living together.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, but that's why I was like, I don't know if like you called me or what. I know I wasn't there, but because he called me and he was like really worried. So basically, Reese had diarrhea everywhere, but
God.
also it was like he was like, I think it's red. Like he was like worried that it was like full of blood, and he's like, I don't know if he like ate a fucking snail or something.
Because I had snails all over my backyard.
And Reese
Yeah.
is stupid.
Yes, he's not
So
smart.
I was like, just keep an eye on his poop, but like clean it up.
Yeah.
It was so much. And I had
remember-
hardwood floors at the time, so it wasn't that bad to clean up.
Yeah.
But it was everywhere.
I remember your cat sharding on you last week.
Okay, I don't know what, like, she has like a loose asshole or something, but that is like the second or third time I've picked Ivy up and I look at my arm and there's just shit on my arm.
Yeah.
Like, what the f?
So do your cats, like, when they get ready to puke, do they, like, purposely leave the hardwood floor and go for the carpet?
Because ours do.
Yep,
Ours
they try and find a corner.
Feels like it. I have like mom senses though. When I hear like the cats puke, I can hear them literally across the house. So I will sprint across the house and move them to like some linoleum.
I've, like, literally watched Cerise while she's sick, like, walk into the living room, look around real quick, step on the carpet, and then go, what?
They've only gotten sick like twice though.
It's only when they eat like a leaf or something if they find a
Yeah,
leaf on the
I know
ground.
some of my houseplants are not poison, or like I don't remember which one it is, but like poisonous is when it's like deadly. Toxic's when it's deadly. Poisonous means it can make them sick.
I have no idea.
Because I know there's like a thing with houseplants where they
dumb.
say like there's some that are completely safe for animals, like they can eat them and it's
Yeah.
fine, like catnip and stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's some that are like poisonous where they're gonna throw up or feel icky if they eat them, but it's not gonna actually hurt them.
Yeah.
And then there's some where it's like, do not let them eat it. So like monsteras are one where they might get sick if they eat it. And I have a giant monstera and they do like to chew on it.
Yeah.
Every now and then. I think they've learned not to because it's been months since they've tried to. But yeah, every time they've done that, or like if a dead leaf falls off of it onto the ground,
Yeah.
they want to eat it for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, anytime that happens, they throw up, and it's always like green, goopy throw up where it's obvious plant matter.
They're like super foamy, like it's.
But I think we're
Yeah.
lucky that like our cats don't really get sick like that, because I know a lot of cats in my life from like my friends and like family that like puke up hairballs all the time and stuff, and like our
We've
cats have never.
Yeah,
had a
I always
hairball.
remember people talking about hairballs.
I thought they were going to be way more prevalent in adult life than they actually are.
Yeah, really. Well, and I know there's like a lot of like hairball control and stuff in their food now to like
Yeah.
help their digestion. So like,
Yeah, maybe
that's
what
a big
it is.
part of it.
Because I remember seeing them too. Like this isn't like a myth
Yeah.
where like people just complained about it. Like I remember going to like, you know, Haley that we game with sometimes. She had cats, and I remember like seeing hairballs at her house sometimes, and her being like, "Oh, like it's just a hairball, like pick it up," or seeing her cats hack one up.
yeah.
But yeah, our cats have never.
I don't
spit
remember
up a
any
hairball.
cats as a kid. Any of the cats I had growing up ever.
Yeah.
I didn't
had
have,
hairballs.
Mine never
Weird.
did.
I didn't have cats growing up.
I just remembered while we were chatting another weird animal that my parents got.
Oh yeah.
When I was like a teenager. They had sugar gliders.
Aww. They're so cute.
So cute.
Aren't those like flying ferrets?
They're like flying squirrels. They're
Yeah,
really
they're
tiny.
kind of like flying squirrels. They're extremely soft. But I remember like me and my mom used to wear like bathrobes all the time, and they would like climb into like the elbow part and just sleep in there, and she'd like let them free roam around the office and stuff. And they bark like puppies when they're happy, which is really cute. And then they also make a noise called crabbing. Have you ever heard it? Okay, let me pull up a video. Their names were Rocky and Simon. Simon after the Alvin and the Chipmunks, and Rocky after Rocky and Bullwinkle.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
Do it more.
Why?
It's like a lawnmower that won't start.
Yeah.
That's the sound that they make when they're nervous, and they're very nervous animals because they're like little teeny tiny squirrels.
Yeah.
And what's funny is, so like a lot of people will carry them in little pouches. Like my mom would take them to work in a pouch, like a felt pouch. And when they do that, like you can literally just squeeze them a little bit because they like it. Mm-hmm. They like the like pressure of it, and it will calm them down, and so they'll stop crabbing. She used to take those motherfuckers everywhere in like a little pouch she'd hang around her neck. They were really sweet, and then eventually it just like the care became a bit too much because like they need fresh fruit every day, and like they're a high maintenance pet, and they need
Also,
a big enclosure.
anything with bedding, yeah, it's just like an ordeal.
Yeah, so they ended up rehoming them eventually.
I just imagine your mom with like a fanny pouch with like sugar gliders hanging out of them and her bouncing on.
I mean, it was kind of like we'll have to post a video of my mom in the IKEA chair.
Oh my god,
sometime.
you need to make a compilation though.
I'm working on it,
Yeah.
actually. All right, am I the asshole for calling my sister with Down syndrome my pet? I, 16 female, have a 14-year-old little sister with Down syndrome. I love her more than life and would take a bullet for that kid at any minute. She's my friend. However, she often likes to pretend that she's a cat and is constantly making purring noises. In parentheses, she's not a furry, but more does
Okay,
it when
Alicia.
shut up. But more does it when she sees one on TV, as it's her favorite animal. One day, my sister and I were on the phone with my best friend, whose sister also has Down syndrome, and she asked us if we plan on getting any pets soon, as we had been talking about getting one for a while. And I jokingly said I didn't need one as I had my sister. Yes, Eric?
I'm good.
Okay. She immediately understood what I meant, as she had often witnessed my sister hissing at me when she didn't get her own way. However, my narc mother overheard, "Are you or are you not a knack?" My narc mother overheard our conversation and started screaming at me that I shouldn't have been calling R-word kids pets.
Oh my gosh.
This isn't the reason.
What is
This is what the mother said. And
Long
then
R?
yes. And then in parentheses, this isn't the reason I've called her a narcissist, but there are many other more serious incidents over the years, in parentheses. I know what I said wasn't great, but the R word is a word that I'd never used to describe her, as its equivalent to the N word. Am I the asshole? And then an edit to say, I definitely don't call her that on a daily basis. I've probably only called her that 3 times over the past 14 years, and all at different ages / years.
No, you're not the asshole for
At
having
all.
one instance.
And having like a fun bonding thing where she pretends to be a cat. Like it sounds like the sister, Down syndrome or not, is like being goofy and
Having a good time.
would
like
have thought it
generally
was
not
funny
being,
regardless. Yeah.
sounds like the mom is just a
Oversensitive dick.
stuck up.
Or like just
idiot.
wants a reason to yell at someone.
real long stick. Thick stick.
I would
stick.
love to know if they have more stories about the mother, because they were like, my mom's a narcissist. And I'm like, ooh, give me the tea.
Yeah, I would love to actually do a podcast where we just read narcissist stories. Because
I'll just invite my friend Tori.
yeah, we could
Sorry,
do a girl
we'll bleep
cast
her
or
name,
something.
but if she would ever want to talk about it, 'cause she's got some stories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the one we're gonna do where we play the other side of the stories is just gonna be so fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that one. I'm so ready for it.
You're talking about like debate cast?
The Devil's Advocate.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm
Yeah.
so ready for that one.
I'm
I love
excited
that.
for Devil's Advocate too.
That's just gonna be so fun because you can just make up whatever you want.
Oh yeah, in case anyone's listening and wondering, we sat down and did a planning session and have some really good entertaining podcast planned for the new year.
Yeah.
So we've got everything planned out, I think, until July
Yeah,
of next
like
year.
we're going like half
Till
a year
Julie.
at a time. So
Julie.
So unsurprisingly, the overall vote was not the
yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah. So anyway, to close out, kind of, I won't do the whole exit, but
Well, why not?
you should check out. We're gonna have some videos. It'll probably be up by the time. Sure, it'll be up by the time this goes out. But Roll for Wifeys.
Oh,
Little
yeah.
side project me and Alicia are doing. It's going to be on the Roll for Funny channel, but we'll like make a playlist or something to
Yeah.
keep them separate because we don't want to manage a whole other
Keep
channel.
Separated.
And as of now, it's not going to have like a big schedule on it or anything, but we wanted to like actually get in front of the camera in like a more short form video.
Yeah, we'll be uploading on there from time to time and hopefully posting more on TikTok as well.
Yeah.
Also under Roll for Funny.
Yeah.
Only wives.
On that note,
Well, we hope that everyone listening will share pictures and stories of their childhood pets. And their
Please share pictures of your pets.
we will pay a heavy pet tax if you check us out on Instagram and Twitter, both under Roll for Funny. You can also find us on YouTube and Spotify. We are censored on YouTube, uncensored on Spotify for the fun people. You can check Ryan out on Twitch at unRyan, Grayson at Glum Goggles with a Z on the end. They will both be on a brief hiatus while they are in moving and trying to buy a
Into the
house.
boonies. Also, send us a pet picture by the end of 2022 and we'll post it on the Instagram.
Yeah,
Yes.
we will. All the follower pets. And you can check me out at hey_foxy_lady, mostly on TikTok. And Eric doesn't have social media, but he does do weird dances.
Yep.
Eric.
Not the dab. Get out. What is this?